Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church in Eugene. My name is Phyllis O'Neill, and I don't have to look at the book to tell you that. I use the pronouns she and her. I'm a short, thin, curly-headed senior woman. I'm wearing a white fleece shirt and some black pants. Some of you may know me in my role as treasurer, but today I'm serving as your worship associate. It's been a long time since I've been up here. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your image of the holy, we are glad you're here. I hope you'll take time to read the handy guide to Sunday worship service. You'll find some, if not in your seat, maybe in a seat next to you. And there's all kinds of interesting information about how to find the order of service, where the low stimulation room is, a reminder to head to the welcome room after the service, which is located right across the hall and the front foyer on the 13th Avenue side. It also tells you about the Joys and Sorrows table, where you can light a candle, place a stone and some water, write out your celebrations and heartbreaks in the book to share with the congregation. I want to remind you that registration for the next round of small group connection circles has been extended through the end of January. You will see Dick Lesher around in his top hat back there waving at us. He's the sign-up guy. And finally, I want to invite you all to come to the February 10th Sweetheart Ball. You don't have to have a sweetheart, and you don't have to dance. There will be lots of fun activities and sweets to eat. See the front page of our website for all the details. And now, let us prepare our hearts for worship with the lighting of the flaming chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Scott Hovis will be lighting the chalice. Come on up, Scott. I'll be reading and sharing some words from Sarah Hayes. There you go. We have inherited this institution from many generations of people who believed in the power of human beings to bear love into the world. We carry this tradition for those who find comfort, inspiration, and joy within its real and virtual spaces. We tend the spark of imagination and hope for the world to come. And now, let us say together the words of our mission, which affirms our shared purpose. Empowered by love, we transform ourselves and serve our world.
Well, good Sunday morning, everyone. My name is Jen Youngsun Rue. I use the pronouns she and her, and today I'm wearing mostly black with my royal blue stole on today. I'm so glad to see all of you. Thanks for coming to church today. Whatever the question, I think the answer must always be love. I mean, what is worth devoting your whole life to? Love. What heals relationships? Love. What does our world need more of? Love, absolutely. And what holds us together? Love. M. Scott Peck's definition of love, I think, is the most useful for us as people who aspire to make love the center of all that we do. He said, love is the will. Love is the will to extend yourself for the purpose of nurturing your own or another's spiritual growth. Love is so much more than those warm, affectionate feelings. It is an act of willfulness It is both an intention and it's an action. Today, we are entering our annual pledge season. Yay! I'm glad that you see it as a celebration, because I definitely see it as a celebration, because it's a time for every member and friend to come together to consider how we are willing to extend ourselves for the sake of transforming our world. Now, I don't have to tell you that there are forces in our world that are ripping communities and nations apart. Forces of domination, violence, injustice of all kinds, overconsumption, materialism. It's pitting people against each other. And love is the only thing that can bring us back and hold us together. So come, let us be willfully loving. Come, let us worship together. And now we're entering our time of meditation and prayer. Phyllis is getting our book of joys and sorrows. You can write in that book anytime during the week if you happen to be here, anytime during the service, and we will read the entries in here unless you make a specific note that says, please don't read, okay? So let me first give you an update about our dear, dear Kitty Carlisle. Kitty is a longtime member of this congregation and our board secretary, and she entered hospice last week. I heard that yesterday a whole bunch of you went over to visit her and just surrounded her with love, and I'm just so grateful for this community for doing that. We think that she's very, very close to the end of this life and transitioning to whatever is next for her. I think that maybe she may have even passed early this morning. We haven't heard word, but she was really close. And so just holding her and her sisters and her mother and all of her beloved friends in our hearts today. We have gratitude for sweet time with bonus grandchildren. We're asking for strength and healing for Howard and Bill Fine. And lots of joy. Joy for sunshine and blue sky, joy for electricity and hot showers, and great hope for internet someday, someday soon. I know a lot of you are still without internet, so we're all exercising some patience. You can always, always come to the church building during our regular office hours and use the space, use the internet here if you need it. And also holding an expansive vision of greater love and belonging for all, even in the midst of great sorrow. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I want to invite you all into a practice of loving kindness, a meditation on loving kindness. And so I ask you to just find a comfortable position. I'm not scrolling the internet. I'm actually checking our Zoom friends and making sure that we include them in our prayers as well. So. First, imagine you're looking into a mirror, and you probably look at yourself in a mirror almost every day. This time, look at yourself in the mirror and send yourself love. What parts of you long for tenderness? What are the parts of you that long for some compassion? Smile to yourself and say to yourself, may I be happy. May I be well. May I be at peace. And now turn your attention to those you know very well, the people in your household, the people closest to you, the ones easy to love. Imagine their faces and say to them, may you be happy. May you be well. May you be at peace. Next, imagine the people who are acquaintances, people that you don't know very well. They may be people you've seen in this community, or at work, or at school. You may not know the joys and sorrows that they are holding in their hearts. You may not know the details of their struggles. But picture them and say to them, may you be happy. May you be well. May you be at peace. And now bring to your mind someone that you're at odds with, someone you disagree with, someone you don't care for at all, even someone you may consider an enemy. Bring their face to your mind and say to them, may you be happy. May you be well. And may you be at peace. And finally, let's send our loving kindness to all the non-human creatures on this living earth. May you forgive us our trespasses. May you be happy. May you be well. And may you be at peace. Amen. So yesterday, many of you contributed to the Solidarity Share Fair that took place right here in this space. And everyone who came through the building, I think, felt such a sense of goodwill. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. Some people came looking for a new coat, and others brought a bag full of clothes. Some people offered medical services and hot, delicious food. And some people came hungry for care and sustenance. Others brought their musical skills, and everybody enjoyed the beauty of that offering. It was such a visible and visceral display of love. And it was a small glimpse of what we could be for one another, what we can be to one another. So there's an idea floating around the church. It hasn't found a landing pad yet. And the idea is this: can we come up with a way that where congregants can make their needs known and to let people know what kind of resources they have? So first, we thought about this big bulletin board. So on one side would be needs, and one side would be, this is what I have to offer, right? And then we started talking and we realized, well, we really need it to be online to make it as accessible to everyone as possible. We haven't quite figured out how to do that. If you have a brilliant idea, please see me. Wendy, can I call out your name? Please see Wendy. Yes, over there. In the meantime, I thought today maybe we could do kind of a mini version of this idea, okay? So, because each one of us really is able to give something, right? Each and every one of us is also in need of something. As George Odell once wrote, we need one another.
We need one another when we mourn and need comfort. We need one another when we are in trouble and afraid. We need one another when we are in despair and temptation and need to be recalled to our best selves again. We need one another when we strive to accomplish some great purpose and realize we cannot do it alone. We need one another in the hour of success when we look for someone to share our triumphs. We need one another in the hour of defeat when, with encouragement, we will try again to endure and stand again. We need one another when we come to die and seek gentle hands to prepare us for the journey. All of our lives, we are in need, and others are in need of us.
On your seats or nearby, you're going to find one golf pencil and 2 cards. One white card and one like pink or other colored card. So the white one, the white card, is for you to list your many gifts, skills, resources. So the white card is for what you can give, what you are able to give. And then the pink or brightly colored card is what you need. Now, Zoom friends, you can do this exercise with us too. If you just type it in the chat, then we will print it out without your names, okay? You don't have to put your names on these. I recently did this exercise with a small group of people that I didn't really know well, and it was very revealing, and it went kind of deep. So our leader asked, what do you have that others may need? That's the white card. What do you have that others may need? Well, I have a granola bar in my pocket. Or I have an extra room in my house. Or I have a bottomless supply of hugs. I have an uncanny ability to organize messy spaces. I am a good listener. Whatever it is that you can offer to someone else, write those on your white cards. And then, what is it that you need right now? What do you need right now? I need a nap. I need socks. Someone said that in my group, and believe it or not, another person reached into their bag and pulled out a pair of socks. It was really funny. Someone said, I need a spiritual guide to help me to figure out what to do next in my career. And I said, I need to learn how to take care of my internal self as well as I take care of other people. So, on the colorful card, write down, what is it that you need right now? So we're going to collect them in a few minutes, and I'm going to find some place to post them for the month of February so that we can take a look at it. And it's just a way for us to get to know each other better. And it's a good practice of naming our needs and our gifts. So I'll give you a few minutes. Suzanne's going to play a little music, and then Phyllis is going to pick them up. When you're done, if you can send them to the kind of the center row. Dick, you have a question?
Are you asking people to put their name or
You don't have to. You don't have to put your name on it. Yeah. So yeah, just pass it toward the center when you're finished, and then Phyllis is going to collect them. All right. Would anybody like to share what they've written? No. Too private. So someone needs time at the coast. Don't we all? Yeah. And she's a good listener. Uh-huh. You have a jar of homemade fig preserves. All right. And you can help people use the internet and write. Great. All right. Well, yeah, go ahead and pass those. Phyllis is going to pick them up. So one of my very earliest memories of living in the United States is of Sunday mornings. My father was always the first one out of bed. And so by the time I got up, there was a check sitting in the middle of the kitchen table. Every Sunday, year after year, their tithe, a check for the church. A portion of the gifts we had received that week went first to the church as an expression of our thankfulness. The bills would then be paid from whatever was left over. So here we were, an immigrant family, foreigners in this strange land called Ohio. How else could we say thank you for this remarkable post-war life but to give some of our income to the collective good? This is what I learned from my family, and this is something that I have repeated, a practice that I have repeated for the last 30 years, ever since I first walked into a Unitarian Universalist church. That image is really a throwback, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of a soft-focused, romantic scene of a middle-class family that could afford a house and a car. The economic realities of young families, a family of 4 today, are completely different, aren't they? HUD just released, HUD is Housing and Urban Development, right? HUD just released their annual count of the unhoused in the United States. The count for 2023 is the highest it has ever been in their recorded history. one of the most basic essentials of life, shelter, is out of reach for hundreds of thousands of people. At the same time, the number of billionaires just keeps going up. Another terrible trend has been churches and religious groups scamming millions of people out of their hard-earned money. Trust in the clergy, trust in churches, and anything remotely religious has taken a nosedive. I mean, almost every day you can learn about just terrible things that happened. And so just a few days ago, another headline. Pastor tells members, God told me to take your money and invest in crypto. $1.3 million taken from the congregation. No one wants to feel foolish or taken, right? No, it's no wonder that across almost all the denominations, giving has been flat. At UUCE, in the last 10 years, membership has gone up, our expenses have gone up. Pledges have not kept up very well. Going into this next church year, we're going to have some serious choices to make. Your board of trustees has been saying over and over again, this is your church, and this is your budget. These are your choices. When you moved from that beautiful church on the hill down to the flats, I think you probably knew that the community would become more economically diverse. And you probably knew that the costs of maintaining this building would be a lot higher. And you did it anyway. I love that. You did it anyway because you knew that there was something bigger and more important at stake. You were willing to extend yourselves for the purpose of transforming lives, which is Mr. Peck's definition of love. It was absolutely the right move. We make an impact here. Yesterday at this Solidarity Share Fair, I overheard a young person commenting to their grown-up that it was weird, our bathrooms were weird, and they were confused about them, about our gender-inclusive bathrooms. Because neither of them had ever seen anything like that before. But they spent time talking through it and reading the yellow sign that we have posted outside. I love that our building speaks the gospel, the good news of our faith, that every single person is inherently worthy and that we are all interdependent. All of our lives, we are in need, and others are in need of us. I know that there is a certain tension built into being a religious community. On the one hand, our big work is to make love visible with our actions and our words so that we can help transform society, right? On the other hand, we operate in the middle of an unjust system of economic domination. This church is part of the labor market, the events rental market, the market for goods and services. Recently, a friend of mine visited St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City and sent me a picture of the pews, of the interior. There are stickers all along the back of those beautiful wooden pews with PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, and Apple Pay logos on them. Wow. So I understand the uneasy feeling that rises when money and church come together. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone walked out of this service because of that. It's happened before. But this is our current reality. And so every year we come together to make stone soup. Every year we come together to combine our resources. Some people put in a little, some people put in a lot. The amount really isn't as important as everyone having an opportunity to put something into that stone soup. February and March, this is our pledge season, and we have 2 events coming up. One is at the beginning and one is at the end, and they're specifically about the pledge drive. The first one is going to happen on the same day as the Sweetheart Ball, but just several hours earlier. February the 10th will be our early pledgers happy hour with both wine and beer and mocktails and a very delicious spread. Everyone is invited, no charge. And then, after most of you have made your pledge, we're going to do a volunteer appreciation dinner on March 9th. Again, no charge, everybody welcome, especially those who have volunteered to do anything for the church. And I think that's pretty much all of you. So you're all invited. In addition to those 2 events, the members of the board and I will be coming to your potluck and to the choir rehearsal and to your other group meetings to ask for your pledges and also to listen to your ideas. Because we also need the collective intelligence of this community to figure out how to move forward. You're going to hear us talking about our vision for a sustainable budget, for staff pay justice, and a bunch of really, really exciting things that we're looking forward to next year, including tiny homes, a new ministerial intern, summer camp for local kids, and a lot more. So some of you may know that I'm not a member of this congregation, but I make a pledge because I believe that you are one of the bright lights in our region. You have a well-earned reputation in the community, and you are getting better and better all the time. I make a pledge to UUCE because this is a place for anyone who is longing for some companionship. Someone once observed that the roots of loneliness are very deep. The roots of loneliness are very deep, and they find their food in the suspicion that there is just no one who cares. And there is no place where they can be vulnerable without being used. This community is working to be a trustworthy place where everyone can find that kind of care. I make a pledge to UUCE because I love your commitment to radical inclusion and centering the experiences and voices of people who have too long been ignored. I make a pledge to UUCE because I want to support your mission to serve the world. To paraphrase a French theologian, our service to one another, to the earth, and to all living things, that our service to that which is larger than our self-interest is a choice. It's a choice that we make. It's a choice to make our own limited, very conditional love a gateway for the unlimited, unconditional love of God. The reason that we have this community at all is because decade after decade, members of this congregation have extended themselves beyond their own self-interests. And this community, as it sits today, is the fruit of their love. And so I ask you, what will be the fruit of your love. Amen, and blessed be. All right, let's say together our closing words as Phyllis extinguishes our chalice. And we'll wait for the words to come on the slide. There we go. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now, friends, as you go, please do make an effort to look around to see if there are people you don't know yet. Introduce yourselves, have a conversation over coffee. You know, in the end, it won't matter how much we have, but how generously we have given. It won't matter how much we know, but rather how well we lived. And it won't matter how much we believe, but how deeply we loved. Go in peace, everyone. Go in love.